So today, we're going to dig into something that's absolutely critical for India's future. How do we protect the very foundation of our nation's food supply from the constant threat of disaster?
It's a saying we've all grown up with, right? And it's true. India's farmers aren't just working the land. They're feeding over 1 billion people. Their success is literally our success.
But here's the thing. What happens when that backbone is under constant, relentless pressure? Because a huge, huge portion of our farmland is disaster-prone, which makes it incredibly vulnerable.
So to really get a handle on the solution, we first have to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the threat and understand just how fragile this agricultural backbone truly is. I mean, just look at this list. The threats are relentless. We're talking about scorching droughts, powerful cyclones, absolutely devastating floods, and even pest invasions. For farmers across the country, these aren't just rare events. They are a constant, year-round battle. Now, when you're facing that kind of constant threat, the old way of managing disasters, well, it just wasn't going to cut it. A massive shift in strategy was needed. And this right here really illustrates the fundamental change in thinking. The old way was all about being reactive. You wait for a disaster to hit, and then you provide relief. The new way, it's all about being proactive, getting ready before the disaster even has a chance to strike.
This proactive approach has a name. It's called Disaster Risk Reduction, or DRR for short. The goal isn't just to clean up after the storm. The goal is to build a system strong enough to withstand it from the very beginning.
Okay, so a new strategy is great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? A good idea is nothing without a concrete plan. So let's see how this idea of DRR is being put into action. You know, this wasn't just some vague concept. It became a formal government framework. Starting back in the mid-2000s, a series of national policies set up a whole new structure for disaster planning, focusing on everything from early warning systems all the way to specific support for farmers. But let's be real, that's the big question, isn't it? How does a high-level policy in Delhi actually make a difference to a farmer standing out in their field? Well, the answer lies in the specific schemes that were designed to provide that direct support. First up, and this one's a big one, crop insurance. Through the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, farmers get a vital financial safety net. They pay a really small premium, and if their crops get damaged by a disaster, they get compensation to help them get back on their feet. Next up, there's the fight against drought. The Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchayee Yojana has such a powerful motto, Har Khet Ko Pani, which means water for every field. By expanding irrigation and promoting super-efficient methods like drip systems, this scheme tackles water scarcity head-on. And finally, the strategy focuses on changing how we actually do farming. The National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture pushes farmers to adopt more resilient methods, like organic practices, harvesting rainwater, and using special crop varieties that are proven to withstand climate stress. All right, so that's the plan. We've got the policies, we've got the schemes. But the million-dollar question is it actually working? Let's take an honest, balanced look at the results so far. And the good news is, yeah, there are some really positive signs of progress. Weather alerts are definitely reaching farmers faster, millions have been supported by crop insurance, irrigation is expanding, and more farmers are embracing these new resilient crops. But, and this is a big but, there are still some major hurdles on the ground. It's a classic last-mile problem, right? You can have great policies at the top, but getting them to work for every single farmer is a whole different ballgame. A lot of them still don't even know these schemes exist. Insurance payments can be painfully slow, and tenant farmers often get left out completely. Plus, the whole process of assessing damage just needs to be faster. So, knowing all that, what's the path forward? This last part is all about the key improvements that are needed to make this system truly effective for every single farmer out there. It really boils down to 4 key steps. 1. Better alerts. Get those weather warnings directly to farmers' phones in their own language. 2. Faster claims. Let's use modern tech like drones and satellites to speed up damage assessments. 3. Local planning. Empower the local village councils, the panchayats, with disaster preparedness training. And 4. Smarter farming. Keep promoting those sustainable techniques. Because when you strip everything else away, it all comes down to this. This isn't just about agriculture. It's about our national food security. It's about our collective future. And protecting our farmers is simply non-negotiable. And that's really the key takeaway here. Disaster risk reduction isn't a cost, it's an investment. It's about finally moving beyond just reacting to problems and instead actively building a future where our agricultural backbone isn't just strong, but truly resilient.